Hey all my Wasteland survivors, welcome to another episode of the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're going to be looking at one of the films from the OHFF Horror Film Festival, and I will be doing a series of these to cover all of the films that I saw while I was up there. And I will say this about the OHFF Horror Film Festival, this is their second year. It is... The first year was fun. I mean, there were some good films, there were some less good films, but this year I think it was not just a step up. I'm talking, they're on another floor. They've moved up a whole floor. The films this year, they blew me away for what these are, for independently made movies with a lot of them incredibly low budgets. I was very, very impressed. The first one we're going to start off with is Screaming in High Heels, The Rise and Fall of the Scream Queen Era. If you don't know what a Scream Queen is, if you're my age, you probably do. There was, during the video boom of the 80s, you had a lot of these, basically a lot of direct-to-video type movies that were made, because they could churn them out. People were going to video stores. That was what Blockbuster used to be before it went tits up, because you didn't have Netflix. You had to go out and actually rent these movies, but by having these places where you could rent these movies, people could watch movies at home. So it opened up an entire new market to make movies. And you had folks like Fred Olenray and David DeCocteau. They made these movies, and you had some of the women were in it. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of nudity. There was some gore, a lot of sexual content, that type of stuff. But that's kind of, you know, it was perfect for that time for the 80s. And I'll admit, I grew up on this stuff. And you had the Scream Queens. You had some of the big names which are covered in this movie. You got Linnea Quigley, who she dies really well. Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and they talk with all three of them, along with some of the other people I mentioned before, throughout Screaming in High Heels. And Jason Paul Cullum, I hope I'm getting the name right, if I'm pronouncing it right, but he was the writer and director of Screaming in High Heels, and I think he gave a good insight into the whole Scream Queen genre and some background on these people, you know, and what kind of work they were doing. And for me, it brought back a lot of memories. I mean, there's these movies that I grew up renting on my Friday nights for a long time. I mean, it was Dungeons and Dragons, and it was 5 movies for $5 at Video Ventures. So every Friday night is what my friends and I would do. And yeah, you may say we're losers, but you know what? While you were off having beer, I was killing dragons and watching people get eaten by demons. It was awesome. I mean, you got great movies that came out of the era. You had Nightmare Sisters. You had Night of the Demons, The Tomb, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Just some great, great films that came out of that. And this, you know, basically gave me a refresher on all these things that I used to watch that I haven't seen in years. And it's just, he did a really good job of opening up that whole Scream Queen genre, and hopefully presenting these movies to a new audience who will then go out and appreciate these, you know, kind of campy, kind of cheesy, but still fun movies. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, oh boy, this one, it brought back a lot of memories for me. It was a lot of fun. I would say this one scores, this is as good as getting the imp back in the bowling trophy before all your friends are killed, and still getting to ride off with Spider at the end of the night. If you get that reference, bonus points for you. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to be doing, hopefully I'm going to crank out a bunch more of these. Next up, I'll be covering another really fun one, Swamphead. So, until then, stay safe out there in the wasteland.